Hello, beautiful people. My name is Thomas, and we are in the Greenwood Cemetery in Brooklyn, New York, paying our respects, a belated happy birthday to Mr. Frank Morgan, or as you may know him as Francis Philip Wupperman. That's right, from The Wizard of Oz. Mr. Morgan's birthday was just June 1st of 1890. That would make Mr. Wupperman a lot years old. Sorry, my math is horrible. But Mr. Wupperman played 5 characters in The Wizard of Oz, and he is considered one of the greatest actors, who died young too, just at the age of 59 years old. Going back to The Wizard of Oz very briefly here, and then we'll jump back into it. Mr. Morgan played 5 roles. He played Professor Marvel, he played the Wizard, the Bust My Buttons gatekeeper, and a horse of a different color carriage driver, as well as the guard. But several actors also played several roles in The Wizard of Oz. You had Ray Bolger, Brett Lahr, Jack Haley. They played multiple roles in the movie as well. So Frank Morgan, he debuted in the films in 1916. And the following year, he started with John Barrymore in a film called Raffles, the Amateur Cracksman. That was 1917, which was a film that was produced about New York City. His career expanded when talkies began. Talkies are when there was actual talking in movies, right? I think that's what it means. He played a character, as time went on, befuddled, but a good-hearted middle-aged man. That became his stereotypical role that he played in romantic leads in such films as When Ladies Meet and Enchanted April. By the mid-1930s, the movie industry was so impressed with Morgan, that's the company Metro, Goldwyn, and Mayer. They were so impressed with him that they signed him to a lifetime contract. But he was a actor with wide range. He could also play effectively. He was able to play comical, befuddled men. And he also was able to play more serious trouble characters. MGM's musical comedy, The Great Morgan, 1946, was a compilation film featuring Frank Morgan himself, supposedly, as himself playing the familiar bumbler. So he had a wide range, and these are some of the clips of him playing in The Wizard of Oz, as you could see. Frank Morgan also had a career in radio. Frank Morgan Fan Bryce Show. And during the first half of that show, um, Morgan would tell outlandish tall tales about his life adventures, much to the dismay of his fellow cast members. After the Morgan segment, there will be a song followed by um, Bryce as Baby Snooks for the last half of the show. So, he had a lot of range and was always kept busy, whether it was radio, playing various roles in movies. But again, he was most known for playing in The Wizard of Oz. So many damn characters. But, others equally played a lot of roles as well. And this is a grave of Frank Morgan, who was known, changed his name, went by the name of Frank Morgan, but his actual name is Francis Wupperman. Now, how about some dialogue? I'm looking at some dialogue from between the gatekeeper and Dorothy. She's this gatekeeper. Gatekeeper goes, "Who rang the bell?" Dorothy, Scarecrow, and Caroline Lion, they all say, all four together, "We did." The gatekeeper goes, "Can't you read?" Scarecrow says, "Read what?" Gatekeeper, "The notice." "What notice?" "It's on the door as plain as the nose on my face." Man, the gatekeeper really doing his job, being the gatekeeper. That was one of the roles that he played. The Wizard of Oz. "As for you, my galvanized friend, you want a heart. You don't know how lucky you are not to have one. Hearts will never be practical until they can be made unbreakable." How about that line? The Tin Man, "But I still want one." Wizard of Oz also said in a line there, "And remember, my sentimental friend, that a heart is not judged by how much you love, but how much you are loved by others." Wizard of Oz also said, "Why, anybody can have a brain. That's a very mediocre commodity. Every creature that crawls on the earth or slinks through slimy seas has a brain. Back where I come from, we have universities, seats of great learning where men go to become great thinkers. And when they come out, they think deep thoughts, and with no more brains than you have, they have one thing you have not got: a diploma." Wow, boo-hoo, Mr. Wizard of Oz. Boo-hoo. He died an early death. He died of a heart attack. As you can see, this is the family grave of Frank Morgan. His family plot, rather, is buried there. I didn't, you guys see that stuffed animal behind there? I didn't understand what the stuffed animal was meant to represent. Maybe I'm missing something. Maybe you would care to let me know. But, the Greenwood Cemetery, there is a lot of history here. It's probably, and this is just me thinking off the top of my head, this is probably the biggest cemetery there in Brooklyn. So it's need a map, and they actually do tours as well, take you to some famous people along the way that you're able to visit. And I do have a couple more videos, well, actually quite a few videos that I will share from you down the road from Greenwood Cemetery. So definitely please do hit a like, follow, and a subscribe. Mr. Morgan was probably the most recent grave that I did visit, and it was, I think, just right. And I recorded this just right before his birthday, so happy belated. Happy belated. Professor Marvel. How about a line from Professor Marvel before we go? Look at this genius, dare I say. He sounded like a professor. Professor Marvel never guesses. He knows. Huh. Meaning, you will never win an argument with the professor. And well, folks, The Wizard of Oz is one of the movies I think that stands the test of time if you haven't watched it. What have you been waiting for? Luckily, I don't give you the spoilers. The movie is almost done. I hope all is well, and until next time.